I grew up in a pretty religious background. Sundays, every Sunday, through grammar school, uh, through high school, and a couple of years of college in the religious setting. So I've known all the stories. And I believe there was a God, and I just never made a connection. There just was something missing. My parents loved me. I had no real issues in childhood, yet something was missing and caused me to search in different areas. Early in high school, right through high school into college, I started making life choices and behaving in a way that hurt me physically, hurt others. Partying just became a real lifestyle, and it was taking its toll. Choices like this and that behavior went right through into my 20s and 30s. I got to the point where I was having grand mal seizures, and I was being medicated for different things. My body was just coming unhinged. I was ready for some more surgeries, and life was just getting out of control. I was still drinking really heavily. I recognized that something had to give. In 2005, I was at a seminar in San Diego in November, and my wife and I had already kind of turned the corner and realizing that this just wasn't going to work out the way we were going. We had 2 children at the time now. Paul and Rachel had already come, and I just couldn't see our life going any further in the direction it was without some serious consequences for the children. It was never a good enough reason for me to change for me or Sarah, but when the children came, I think that became a better reason. Not that my father was very ill, and I didn't want that to play out again in my life for my children. So I made a conscious effort to make some changes. In San Diego, I was brought to a place where I just recognized, I'm still constantly making the same kind of decisions, coming up short of the mark. And I just continually was going to fall back into those behavior patterns. I was at an all-time low once again in this moment. And I was completely ruined. I was an emotional wreck. I was just crying inconsolably. And this gentleman I barely knew, Mike Madden, funeral director from Colorado. I had met him maybe 2 days earlier, for a moment. And Mike came up to me and he put his arms around me and he says, Matt, Jesus loves you. And in that moment, my eyes were closed and his arms were around me, and I felt the love of Jesus. Just a warmth passed through me, a weight lifted. I went from crying inconsolably to almost a giggle in a matter of seconds. And it's inexplainable. I don't think I told my wife for months, because I just wasn't sure what really happened. It was just amazing. But I know from that point on, something was different. It's been a process since then. This is 2005. A long process of healing. At that moment, I recognized God's grace. And what that really means. That was never part of my religious upbringing. The grace of God that He extends towards us. He loves us despite everything we have done, and despite what I haven't done yet. And my children are here, and they're perfect. I was, supremely paranoid about what was going to happen, at their birth, because of my life choices and, my physical being at that point. God's grace, it was evident immediately when I saw their perfectness at their birth. I mean, absolutely amazing. My healing's been physical. Towards the end of my drinking days, like I said, I was, grand mal seizures, medicated. My physical healing's been amazing. I suffer no more seizures. I'm not medicated for anything at this point. God's grace is evident in our physical beings. The healing that takes place. It's been since 2005. And I'm still amazed at the wonderful things He does in our lives. There's a peace that I recognize probably too infrequently, in tough times that, I can't give any other reason for other than knowing that He's with me, He's with us, and I'm going to be okay.